welcome to round 3 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of May 13th. I'm Catherine Haleko, and I'm here with Nicole Eherdix.
Hello.
And Terry Morrow.
Hello.
We're moms of teens and young adults, and when it comes to parenting, we've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. But we're still waiting for that day when we'll reach the finish line and have no further need to lay down in a dark room with a wet rag over our eyes worrying about something or other. Wednesday is complaint day here on Parenting Roundabout, and our target today is, once again, our precious children. And this time, subcategory, stuff of ours that they've broken. Because they live in our house and they touch our stuff.
They do.
Nicole had a precious artifact broken. Is that
yes.
right?
Tell us about it, Nicole.
Well, as you know, I love my Starbucks mugs.
Yes.
And one of my favorites, and not because Catherine lives there, well, that's part of the reason, but is my Wisconsin mug that my husband got on a business trip there a couple of years ago. But I really like it. It's a nice, pretty green. It's very colorful. It's got lots of, fun images on it. And I went to take a sip of my coffee, and there's a big chip out of the side of the rim of the coffee cup. And I know I did not do that because I handle those with care.
Yeah.
And I also happen to know that my son was dealing with the dishwasher last. So kind of try not to place blame anywhere, but man, I didn't want that to happen. So that's been my most recent thing amongst a whole litany of other things that have fallen apart at the hands of my children.
And I'm prepared to buy a new Starbucks Wisconsin mug if necessary and ship it. But we're hoping that Nicole can finagle an invitation to Wisconsin to speak or something.
To actually get.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
I know.
That could happen.
So she can claim it for her own self instead
I know.
of just getting it in the
Nobody's
mail.
touching this. Yeah. So.
Yeah. That's discouraging.
Yeah. How about you, Terry? Have you had some?
I can't think of anything really recent because I learned pretty early on to just put things away or on a high shelf or someplace that they are not in reach of little fingers because, it's easier to just take them away than constantly be looking. But I do remember there was one very, very dark Christmas where my mom had been to Rome and she had bought me a rosary there. And I had opened it up Christmas morning and then left it on display under the tree as we do. And my son thought it looked like the funnest pop beads ever. And pretty soon it was in pieces on the floor. And it was just, I was so upset because it was from my mom and because it was from Rome. And I think I yelled at him and he's looking at me like, what? He was very little then. So that's still, I feel bad that I yelled at him and I also feel bad that I no longer have it or that in one piece anyway. Right. So that was very hard. So since after that, it was like anything precious is just going to go someplace. But I don't know that I would think about a mug. I probably would leave my mugs unguarded. And come to think of it, some of them are chipped, and maybe I can blame that on somebody. But, it's just, my advice has always just been, if there's something that will hurt you, if it breaks, put it where kids can't get to it.
Yeah.
And then break it yourself, which is usually what happens.
Yeah, that's usually. Yeah, I had a very cool glass. So I have a friend who is a glass artist and at one time had given me this glass that, a drinking glass that he made. That was super cool. And everyone in the family liked it. It's, mine. And eventually it broke. And I'm not even sure exactly who did it, but nonetheless, it was in too many pieces to, it was glass. You couldn't fix it. But the good news is that just a couple of weeks ago, I visited my friend at his studio and I got a new one.
Oh,
yay.
So, that's exciting.
Yes, that was very, was a good day.
Awesome.
Did you have to confess to him that the previous one had come to a bad end?
No. Mm-mm. He just gave it
I
to
like
me.
that one so much. Could I have one just like
I
it?
can have another one. It's actually different. It's colored.
Oh.
This one's colored glass instead of
Neat.
clear. So I'm very happy that I got a new one.
Like
but yeah.
I try not to get too tied to things. Like I don't collect.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I collect the cups, but I don't collect like really anything major. Like you know, I don't get attached to things.
Right.
But yeah, there have been a few. But when there have been a few things that have broken, fallen apart, gone missing, where I've just been like, oh no, I'm not gonna be able to replace that. That a necklace once. I think Josh pulled on it. You know, when they're little and you're holding them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
There's some more advice for Megan. Don't wear your diamonds where the
No.
baby can grab them.
Exactly.
And keep them someplace out of reach. Like,
Yeah.
you know, one of your how many bedrooms? But some of us don't have quite the space. It's a little more challenging.
Right,
But-
exactly. Yeah, and you're right, Terry. Like, you put it somewhere safe, and then you're the one who breaks it.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Then you only have yourself to blame.
At least
That's
if the
the
kid breaks
problem.
it, you can have somebody to blame. It's not your fault. But,
Right.
you know, if you put it someplace safe and then it gets broken.
And also, if a kid does it, you have to be like, well, accidents happen. You know,
That's right.
I'm not mad at you, even if deep down you might be a little mad. But you forgive them, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you know they didn't do it on purpose, but
Yeah,
if you
eventually
do
you do.
if you do it yourself, you don't give yourself the same grace. I
That's
think.
right.
Or your husband.
Or your spouse, exactly. I was just going to say that.
Yeah, I have
How
to
could
say,
you?
he's probably done more damage than my kids.
Oh, dear.
He's what would you say, a bull in a china shop.
Oh. Yeah, you know, just not having nice things is also a way to go.
That's true too.
Probably not good advice for Meghan and Harry, but it's like, put all the nice stuff in another castle.
I have a friend who they have a daughter who's exactly the same age as mine, and we knew each other when they were really little, and they were so good about, either they were good or she was good, I don't know which, about not touching stuff that they told her not to touch. Like they didn't do a whole lot of childproofing. I mean, they did some, but basically, if she went for, you know, the TV buttons or the remote control, not the, you know, like the DVD player or whatever, they just be like, nope, that's
little
not
electric shock.
that's not yours. You know, they would say that's a mommy daddy thing. That's not your thing, and she would back off.
Oh man!
Wow,
and it was kind of amazing.
Good for them. Perhaps they really did train her well, or perhaps she's just temperamentally cooperative and they get the credit for it.
Yeah. Well, and then they went
That's
on
so
to
unfair.
have 2 more kids, and I'm sure that it didn't necessarily work out the same with the other 2. But
the chances are
I
slim.
also was not a huge like baby proofing person. Like, yes, I covered outlets and things, but I didn't put like soft bumpers on every corner of everything around.
I can't remember whether we did that. I do know that there was we just recently, as I've talked on this podcast many, many times, got some new kitchen appliances after a very, very long time. And our refrigerator that we replaced still had the Velcro on it from, baby proofing the refrigerator from my son. And it was still there, even though he learned very quickly how to open it up. And so he would, open the Velcro, look in the refrigerator, close the refrigerator, put the Velcro back on.
Oh, how funny.
So why am I bothering to baby-proof?
Right.
He's onto it. He's good. But he also had a habit of just, because of sensory processing disorder, he wasn't good at judging distances or calibrating his movements. So he would just walk into doors and corners of things and just walls. He would close the door in his head and stuff like that. Aww. So I was always feeling like people were probably looking at me and saying, why don't you baby-proof your home? And it's like, I would have to put padding on absolutely everything. Right. It's not worth it. Give him a Band-Aid.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess the thing that he broke most was like pieces of himself.
Oh, poor guy. But I just find random things broken too. Like, it's not necessarily an item. It's like, you know, the door hinge has come off, or like, I don't know, you know, a chip of my mirror is missing. These random things that I know that I haven't been involved with, you know?
Look around. You're like, some little elf did this.
Like, whether it's my husband, my kids, I have no idea. My cats, my dog, my fish, I don't know. But, like, why is my shower head loose all of a sudden? Like, I just don't. Anyway, so I tend, like, it's kind of a mystery, too. It's not always stuff that I treasure and hold dear to my heart. There's stuff that is just your random everyday things.
It makes you scratch your head, like, how did this happen?
Yeah. Like, how is, like, my literally my office chair one day started to fall apart. I'm like, how did this happen? The screws started coming out. The arm rest on the chair fell off. Like, it was just really weird. Anyway.
Well, just as long as they don't touch our podcast mics and mess up our ability to do this.
That's right.
Yes. And that will be it for today's round 3. Tune in tomorrow when we'll obsess about booking travel, and then come back on Friday to see what we've come up with for our Roundabout Roundup picks this week. Find all of our episodes at parentingroundabout.com and talk back in the comments there on our Facebook page or on Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat.